Hey guys, so we are doing test corrections here for part 1 of your test. Okay, so remember there's multiple versions, so I have no idea which one you have. It's going to be the same type of problems though, so look at your test, compare which triangles look the same, and then just replace it with your numbers to solve your corrections. Sound good? Cool. So this is part 1, only 1 through 4, because they're all very similar. Get it? Similar triangles. So funny. So the first one I'm going to do here is a triangle that looks like this with these arrows. Notice how we have an arrow here, arrow here. Okay, a lot of people said that these were not similar triangles, but they are. And that's because of these arrows. These mean parallel, right? So if I have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, that means I'm going to have a pair of corresponding angles here that are congruent, and also here. Okay? And if you wanted to say one extra pair, you could say this by the reflexive property is congruent to itself, whereas these ones were the corresponding angles. Okay? Just like we talked about in class. So I would say these are similar by AA. Okay? Cool. Now if those arrows were not there, that's not the same. If the arrows are not there, then they are not similar. That would be not enough info. Okay, next one. Still two overlapping triangles. What's different about this is notice how there's no parallel lines. Even though they may look parallel, there's no arrows, so I can't assume they are. All right, so right here, I see I have some numbers, 6, 3, 8, and 2. Anytime you have numbers, you're not just guessing whether it's SSS, SAS, or AA. You have to check if they are proportional, meaning do they have the same ratio? So if you were solving all of these and you weren't showing any work at all, then I know for a fact you don't know what you're doing, okay? You need to show your work, and it's very simple. All you got to do is set up the ratio of this side over this entire side, which is 9. Okay, oops, sorry, 6 over 9. And then simplify that down. So these have one common factor, 3. So that's going to simplify to 2, and that's going to simplify to 3. So there's one ratio. And then you go to the next one and compare the 8 here to the 10. Okay, simplify that down. That's going to be 4 to 5. Now, are they the same? No, they're not the same. Okay. So since they are not the same ratio, that means they are not proportional, okay, meaning not similar. You could have also done the following. A lot of people did this, and that's fine. 6 over 3, which simplifies to 2, and 8 over 2, which simplifies to 4, okay? So if you prefer to use those ratios, that's fine, but again, you'll notice they are not similar. Okay? All right. Next one. Be careful here. In this example, these two angles here and here are not congruent. Those are not vertical angles. So some people said SAS. That's not right. All right. Now you had to check this one. So if you just guessed that it was SSS, then it's not necessarily going to be the case, so you got to be careful with that. So you have to match up the corresponding sides. So remember the largest, I'm starting with the largest on this triangle matches with the largest on this triangle, okay? So when you divide 24 and 6, you're going to get 4. Then you do the same thing for, let's do some pretty colors, 20 and 5. 20 over 5 simplifies to, you guessed it, 4. And last but not least, let's do a little heart around 8 and 2. 8 and 2, oh my goodness, that simplifies to 4. So you see how we have 3 that are all the same, 3 ratios that are all the same. Therefore, these are going to be similar by, what happened to my pencil? Stop writing. Oh, that's why. Similar by SSS. Okay, good. All right. And last one on this page here. First thing you should have noticed is that we have vertical angles. So you want to mark the vertical angles that are congruent right there. Okay. If you said SSS, you're wrong because there's no side here and here. I'm missing a side. So this is either SAS or nada. So again, you want to check to see, do they have the right proportions? Now, here's the tricky part about this one. You want to match up the corresponding sides. Okay, corresponding sides, you want to match the bigger with the bigger and the small with the small. So the biggest on, let's do this triangle here, is obviously 6, right? So 6 corresponds to the larger one over here on this triangle. And out of 15 and 18, hopefully you can clearly see, 18 is the bigger, so 6 over 18 is corresponding, okay? And so that's going to simplify to 1/3. And then I do the same thing. You want to do small to small, so 5 is the smaller one, so that's going to match with 15. And that also simplifies to 1/3. Okay, so we have 2 of the same ratios. Only 2 though, so it's not SSS. But remember, don't forget about your vertical angles. So that's going to be our side angle side. Okay? However, if you had done the wrong proportion, so if I had done 6 over 15 and compare that to 5 over 18, that's not going to get you the right answer because you're not matching it up with the right sides. You got to do the big to the big and then small to small. Okay? Okay. So now you should be able to correct all yours. Cool. Have fun with that.